Hello and welcome to Classic Lanes here in Greenfield, Wisconsin. Van McNeil alongside Phil Brilo for the Wisconsin High School Mixed Team Championship. A great day of high school bowling ahead here, Phil.
Yeah, I mean, Classic Lanes Greenfield filled the house. Bowlers had to cover all 16 lanes here in qualifying during Baker team games with 3 boys and 2 girls bowling at a time. First time these teams have bowled together in a mixed format ever in high school bowling in Wisconsin. Really looking forward to seeing what's going to happen on the TV show because we got 3 very solid teams that came out of the qualifying today.
All right, Phil, let's take a look at our number 3 seed, Lakeview Tech.
Yeah, very young team, very recently started program, only a couple years old for the program. Only 400 students in that high school in Kenosha, and no seniors on this team. A couple of juniors, freshmen, sophomores. Going to be interesting to see how this young team melds together as they try it for the first time ever on television.
Then we're looking over to the 2 spot at the Oak Creek Knights.
Yeah, Oak Creek, I'll tell you what, we've seen their girls last year at the Midwinter Classic from Castle Lanes and Racine. We saw the boys earlier this year in the Kickoff Classic from Motion Plus Lanes, but now they're bowling together. Can they meld as a team and make themselves get out there and will themselves the win?
Then we look at that top spot, Muskego High School.
Oh, I'll tell you what, Muskego bowled great as a team all day long. We saw Muskego win the boys division last year at the Midwinter Classic. The girls are picking up steam this year as it goes along, and they bowled tough. They dominated the field today during qualifying. I really think it's going to be tough for either Lakeview Tech or Oak Creek to beat them in that championship match, but that's why we bowl these 2-game total pin matches. We got to see what happens.
It's going to be a great watch. You're going to want to stick around. Some great high school bowling ahead. We'll be right back with the Wisconsin High School Mixed Team Championships.
Live, on demand, worldwide, Extra Frame is always on. It's the online bowling channel. Watch live qualifying rounds and match play from every PBA Tour stop and every PBA 50 Tour event on your big screen, PC, mobile phone, or tablet. Archived nationally televised shows and content is available 24/7. Extra Frame is always on. Subscribe now at www.extraframe.tv.
Welcome back to Classic Lanes here in Greenfield, Wisconsin. Van McNeil alongside Phil Brilo for the 2017 Wisconsin High School Mixed Team Championship. Our semifinal action about to get underway here, Phil.
Yeah, Oak Creek against Lakeview Tech. Oak Creek with some experience under the TV lights. Lakeview Tech, relatively new program, only a couple of years of bowling so far for them in District 3A. Should be an interesting match.
2-game total pinfall here, and we open up the first frame with Dayton Pasante.
Not a bad shot there, Van. You're going to see a lot of these players staying very direct. It's a modified version of the Classic Lanes Greenfield house shot. It's a longer house pattern. And so the bowlers realized all day that the best thing to do is use that bit of hold in the middle. Ball get about 45, 46 feet down lane before it starts to make its move. And spares are going to be a premium. Stripes were a little tough to get in strings today for these teams, but spares will be what makes a winner.
As they say, straighter is greater. Dayton with the spare conversion in the first frame.
Stepping up for Lakeview Tech, Grace Bordeaux. Grace, a freshman. This is a very young team.
First time on television.
And no seniors on this team, Van. Only 1 junior, so a lot of years for these young players to stay together, bowl, and improve. And boy, with shots like that by Grace Bordeaux.
Trip 10. Nice up board 9 and 10 around the second arrow there. And it came in nice there, Phil, as we look at the replay here.
Yeah, and you see all those smiles on the Lakeview Tech team. That's what you want your leadoff bowler to do. Be around the pocket. If you get a strike, great, even better. But now that's really going to loosen up the rest of that team and help them throw a little bit better shots and stay a little loose on the lanes.
Wow, Lakeview Tech is a young team, a bunch of seniors here for the Knights of Oak Creek, and Alec Belmas with a solid strike there. The 17-year-old senior from Oak Creek. We've seen him on TV before on this team. Nice strike there.
Yeah, and we've seen him with Caitlin Martirana, who's going to be bowling anchor for the Oak Creek team today, win the Wisconsin State Mixed Doubles Championship for high school earlier this season. River Freyer, sophomore, only been bowling for a year.
a year.
And not bad form for a year. Holds the ball a little high, but very conventional game. That one got a little right on him, but hey, makeable spares are what's key out here on TV.
Again, a little nerve-wracking for Lakeview Tech, being it their first time on TV. That could have something to do with it as well.
Well, one thing with the amount of coaching I've done over the past that I don't like to see players do is hold the ball higher than maybe mid-chest, because what they're doing, as high as Rivers holding that ball right now, he has to control it down to his waist, and it's really decelerating, and it doesn't let him get a lot of speed on the ball. You don't see anybody on the tour that holds the ball under their chin. They all hold it right about mid-chest high, maybe a little higher for some of the smaller players, but that's the key to getting speed on the bowling ball.
Smooth, easy, and able to convert the spare for Rivers. Over to the Oak Creek Knights now, and this one, Jamie Wall, the 17-year-old senior. We have the distinguished honor of bowling with her in our Monday Night Sport League.
Yes, indeed. Her and another team member, Sam Richter, bowling with us at Alpine Lanes.
And that straighter is greater. Again, solid pocket strike for Jamie Wall and the Oak Creek.
Yeah, and a big early double to help jump out to a lead. Samantha Pendleton, a freshman, bowling in the number 3 spot. Depends on the coach. Some coaches like to put their weakest player in the lineup in the number 3 spot. Some players like to put that player in the number 2 spot. Right now, it's going to be a tough spare for Pendleton with the 5-10 after the crossover hit.
A little bit more strategy than one would think heading into team competitions here in bowler placement.
Yeah, usually number 3 player is a solid player. Not going to get you a lot of strikes, but definitely going to fill frames for you out on the lanes. And you're going to see her move a little farther right in the approach. She's going to get that ball hooked to the crossover side and try to slide the 5 into the 10.
It's a makeable spare. Oh, I thought she had it there.
But now a big early deficit for Lakeview Tech. They're down 23 pins after 3 frames. But once again, Van, as you mentioned, 2-game total pin match.
Right.
Anything can happen.
We've said it before on these telecasts where we've seen teams come back from a 60, 70, 80 pin deficit, come back and win it. So it's not over till it's over. Corbin.
Yeah, his brother Brad we saw a couple of years back. He's part of the Oak Creek team. Corbin Bouch keeping the name alive. And Corbin just came up a little high in that shot. You see very direct. Saw a lot of splits broken up today because of the subtle angles these bowlers were using to get into the pocket.
I had to look at that last name again, the legendary Bouch bowling family. And able to convert the spare for 17-year-old Corbin.
Here's Jared Spangler, your number 4 player. This is the bowler that's going to be around the pocket the most. This is the player you want because they're going to be back up again in the 9th frame, and it's always that foundation frame.
It's amazing that there are no seniors on this team. Look at that speed on that ball.
How about that for Spangler? Yeah, definitely the rocket to the pocket there. Fortunately for him, crossover pocket, but fortunately for his team, they get the break on the crossover.
As a bowler, it may not be the strike that we want, but in the end, a strike is a strike. Talking about the heavyweight and Caitlin Martin, and a light pocket strike there. Again, a strike's a strike, though, for the 16-year-old junior out of Oak Creek.
Yeah, the pins no gender. They don't care who's bowling anchor. And you can see with that powerful ball by Martirana right there. All 10 pins go down, and she's doing a great job all day as anchor for this Oak Creek team with David Burnett, the anchor for Lakeview Tech.
You can tell he's an anchor bowler, nice solid form, and able to trip that 10 pin for another strike for Lakeview Tech. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. More of the 2017 Wisconsin High School Mixed Team Championship coming up from Classic Lanes here in Greenfield, Wisconsin.
Barbiere's Italian Inn, featured in onmilwaukee.com's In Search of the Perfect Pizza in January 2013. Near Miller Park on Blue Mountain Road and on Milwaukee Avenue in South Milwaukee.
Welcome back to Classic Lanes here in Greenfield, Wisconsin. It's the 2017 Wisconsin High School Mixed Team Championship. The Oak Creek Knights taking on Lakeview Tech here as we begin the second half of Game 1 here, Phil.
Yeah, only a 12-pin lead for Oak Creek. They've stayed clean with a double through the first 5 frames, just the single open in the 3rd frame for Lakeview Tech. A little bit higher score than I thought this match was going to be to start off with, Van.
Dayton with a spare in the first frame. Got away from him here in his 6th frame and leaves the 2-8, the baby split.
Yeah. These teams carry rosters of 4 boys and 3 girls for this mixed team championship. They can bowl 3 boys and 2 girls at a time, and if they do substitute for a player, I think Lakeview Tech's going to have a sub when they come up. A female has to substitute for a female, male for male. So there's always 3 boys and 2 girls in the lineup at any time.
A little bit more strategy, like I was saying earlier, than you would think going into these team matches, but definitely important. If you see a bowler fall, that's what the coaches are for, to make that substitution.
Exactly. And now we do have that substitution coming in for Grace Bordeaux is Sydney Anderson. Sydney, a freshman, high series of 625. She's got a couple of middle school state titles.
Oh, a southpaw here. And able to cross over with the strike. All right, a little bit of luck. That's not bad, Phil.
Yeah, big break for her there. You see the very side tilted position that Anderson used to get to the foul line. Keeps her ball speed a little slow, but she does get the great break on the crossover strike.
Alec Belmas, the 17-year-old senior from Oak Creek. His first throw was a strike. Looking for another one here in the 7th. That's just a pretty ball release. Solid pocket strike for Alec.
Yeah, and one thing you can tell with Alec, he's really been working on since we saw him in the mixed doubles championship, is his ball speed. He's picked up his ball speed a little bit more on this condition, even though it's a longer condition than he saw at AMF Polaro. But he's really keeping the ball on line through a strike. Zachary Spangler, another substitute for Lakeview Tech.
A little bit of movement there. Flush to the head pin.
Yeah, the ball he's throwing right there is made for late movement on the lane, which is good for players such as Zachary with the slower ball speed. However, it gets a little bit too slow, then it gets too angular, slices through. He's lucky to take the 7 pin out and only leave the 3-6-10 combination.
Slight miss of target.
And it's not easy coming in as a substitute either. You've watched the first half of the game. You have to figure out where the lanes maybe have changed a little bit, and a great cover by Spangler. And then make those adjustments coming in cold off the bench.
Jamie Wall, not cold at all. Again, opened up with the strike for the Knights in her 3rd frame.
Jamie going to be attending UW Green Bay.
A Phoenix. Continue her bowling. Jamie Wall here.
Yeah, the 5 steps to the line and that long lean down.
Able to trip the 4 pin. And another strike for Jamie. She knows she got away with that one.
Once again, the slighter angles that these players are using at the pocket are helping with some of the carry they're getting on the high hits.
Again, a strike is a strike, Phil.
Samantha Pendleton up, trying to come back off of that 5-10 split on the crossover in frame 3. A little better shot out of her hand. Ooh, and almost the bad result of a 4-9.
Yeah, able to trip out the 9 pin there. Came in a little high on the pocket. So we look at the replay here. Yeah, look at that. Just able to. The head pin takes out the 7. That's about it.
Yeah, you see the strength of the ball roll going through the pocket. It's not always about the amount of revolutions on the bowling ball. It's where that bowling ball is revving up. And her ball revved up so late and was so aggressive getting through the pocket. The ball hooked by the 9 pin, and she doesn't have much hook on her ball to start with. So she'll make that adjustment going into the second game of this match, I'm sure.
Corbin Bouch, the 17-year-old from Oak Creek. Previous win at state. His high game is a 284. And a pretty release. Ooh, might have been ball speed there on that one.
A little grabby on the bottom. You can tell he tried to really extend it through on that shot, especially after last time he went high left the 6 pin. That time made sure he got the ball in the lane. Well, you still got to let the ball go properly. And you give it a little bit too much fingers, hooks a little early, you change your axis rotation, and not an easy spare here with the 3-6-10.
No, still throwing the jackal at it. Surprising, and when you don't throw polyester, that's the result most times.
Yeah, the ball hooks too much into the 3 pin. 6 just goes into the gutter, does not come out to take out the 10. And Oak Creek's lead now just a single pin.
Opening the door for Lakeview Tech, the rookie team here on TV, if you will.
Jared Spangler, high series 721. A little better shot than he had in his previous effort. That time he's in the pocket, but a little too fast. Ball didn't have the strong roll we saw off of his teammate last frame. And you'll see the deflection on the replay.
Yeah, we're going to see it here. Just a little light in the pocket, and that 1 pin not able to come over and trip that 10 pin. So, like we see most times.
Yeah, now just ease into it. Get over on the left side of the lane. Go cross lane at the spare.
Oh boy. That was a close one.
Well, and you can tell that's a young player that hasn't made the switch to polyester yet for corner pin spares. You can see how he got to the bottom of his swing, and he basically just stopped his follow through waist high just to take everything he could off the bowling ball.
Caitlin Martirana. Ready to release our anchor bowler for the Knights and able to secure another strike.
And once again, I mean, this type of shot really feeds into Martirana's A game. She likes to play direct on the lane, point A to point B, a little bit of hook on the back end. Let that ball get into the roll 5 or 6 feet before the pocket, where it stays really strong through, and no problem taking all 10 pins down. And that's going to guarantee Oak Creek having the lead going into game number 2. But once again, 2-game total pin match.
Right, every pin counts. I was looking here at the scores. Chance for Lakeview Tech, if they can go off the sheet, to put some pressure, at least keep it within a few pins. But Caitlin Martirana not letting up on the gas pedal at all.
No, not at all. And you can see high fives going around all the teammates, all the coaches. It's kind of interesting today because we have the coaches from both of the schools, boys and girls teams, coaching at the same time. You can always see the coaches between all of our teams today comparing notes. What about this player? What does this player normally do? Because they may see them in practice, but they're working with their own teams. A lot of these teams practice together. So this is a very unique tournament to the high school season. It's the first time it's been held, and hopefully we get a few more teams out next season to fill the house here at Classic Lanes in Greenfield.
Martirana not able to go off the sheet. A little high in that last shot to leave the 4-pin. 213 in game 1.
David Burnett looking to add on to his strike total. He struck in the 5th frame. Burnett's high series, 784.
I want to say that's a two-handed approach. Is he palming that ball, Phil?
No, he's just got a very bent wrist back, and unfortunately, the 7-pin doesn't bend to his will. Stands in defiance on a great pocket shot. 4-pin just goes straight back when the 2 hits it.
Too much rotation.
And look at his reaction. He thought it was 10 in the pin. He had to turn around and look a second time at it.
Able to convert the spare here. Oh boy. Oh boy. Again, and I will say this before, I've said it before on these telecasts about Sean Rash and asking him, what is the money ball for you, Sean? It wasn't anything, no reactive resin, urethane, anything like that. He went, Van, spare ball is my money maker.
Yep.
Make your spares.
Yeah, I mean, both teams with only 1 open in this match. The difference being Lakeview Tech 1 3-bagger, 3 doubles for Oak Creek.
Way to wrap it there for Lakeview Tech. A nice strike from David. Looked like a little bit of adjustment there. But 213 to 201 here in game 1. Don't go anywhere. More of the 2017 Wisconsin High School Mixed Team Championship from Classic Lanes in Greenfield is coming up next.
Why do we have so many of our televised tournaments at Castle Lanes? Because we love being part of the wild side of bowling. If you're ready to get in touch with your wild side, go to castlelanes.com.
Welcome back to Classic Lanes here in Greenfield, Wisconsin. Van McNeil alongside Phil Brilo for the 2017 Wisconsin High School Mixed Team Championship. Phil, a pretty good game 1 as Oak Creek takes it. The Knights with a 213 over Lakeview Tech's 201.
Yeah, and now the interesting part is these teams switch lanes. They haven't bowled on it an entire game. It's going to be a little different from where they finished up in practice. We'll see how these teams react, and it's really key for these leadoff bowlers to throw good shots. And unfortunately there for Bordeaux, not a quality shot. I think she had a little problem with the thumb on that one, getting out a little quick. You can see she's already back on the hand dryer. And, you know, you're standing around between games, coach is talking to you, firing you up, and you get the nerves going. You know there's one more game. You want to win and get to the championship match against Muskego. and all of a sudden things get a little sweaty, and yeah, she's still messing with the thumb right there, and
Yeah, you can see it's just wiping it
Yeah.
off there on her pant leg. It's all
yeah,
about
she's
keeping
still,
focus.
Yeah, she's still not happy with it, and she's doing the smart thing. You know, even if you're bowling in league, if something's not right, take the extra 8 or 10 seconds and give yourself the quality shot. She's taking the towel out. She's toweling out her bowling ball. She's got a little perspiration in there,
Right.
a little moisture. You got to have everything the same for the next shot.
Well, Phil, you see it even in the professional realm with them being on a shot clock. They'll take that time. They'll pay the fine just so they are set and ready, perfect to throw the way they want to do it.
Yeah, no shot clock for these young players here. They don't need any additional pressure on the lanes, and a much better shot for Bordeaux.
Able to convert.
And now her teammates can make the read still off that second shot. That's important that she made a quality shot on the second ball in that frame. And it looks just the same on the scoreboard as if she left the ringing 10 pin and spared it.
Perhaps some of the growing pains in this rookie team here on TV in Lakeview Tech. The Oak Creek Knights have been here on television before. Dayton Pasante, and a little flush there in his opening shot in the first frame of game 2.
Yeah, and looking back, he's talking to his teammates there, and something tells me that they might be seeing lane 4 hook a little bit more than lane 3. Look at this low-level camera shot coming in. And you
Yep.
see how early that ball reads up.
Dayton throwing the Motive Trident. Maybe switch here. Look at that, a polyester.
Textbook spare cover, man.
That's how you do it. Kids, pick up your spares.
And a little bit of a lineup change from the first game for Lakeview Tech. Zachary Spangler taking the number 2 spot this game.
And some problems with his
Hey,
thumb
he's
hole
just
as
asking
well,
I think he was just asking the coach, you know, what kind of move got made there. He goes back,
Okay.
talks it over, comes back out.
and boom. Not wasting any time. Able to find the pocket for a strike. Straighter is greater here, Phil.
It definitely is. And for Spangler, you know, he's fighting a little the bowling ball a little bit. It looks like the ball kind of came off of some a little quick, and he has kind of a spinner rotation to it. But you can see ball gets 3 or 4 feet before the pocket. They just picked up a strong roll through the pocket. No problem taking all 10 down for Spangler at time.
Alec Belmont of the Oak Creek Knights, the 17-year-old senior. Ring 2. Look at that. Pretty ball release. Solid pocket strike for him.
And that's the key right now for Oak Creek. Fill frames. Keep that lead. You're only up by 12 pins. You get a double in there early. Maybe you'll get out to 20 or 30, and that'll really put the pressure on Samantha Pendleton and Lakeview Tech to start throwing strings of strikes.
Right over the second arrow. Straight through the head pin, though.
Yeah, and that one just looked a little bit left to target for her. She's already back looking for that polyester spare ball. She knows you got to take that chop out of play when you leave yourself to 610. And you know, once again, these angles, though, we're not seeing many splits out here today.
I like the fact, though, we saw it in Zach earlier and Grace as well. They're making the adjustments. They're taking the time. Grace had her problem with the thumb hole. Zachary wanted to make sure it was the right shot. They're taking the time, double checking with coach to see if they're playing the right one.
Oh, exactly. And you know, that's the one thing that these coaches really have guidance for with these players. It's just the little things that, hey, go through the same pre-shot routine, do what you need to do to get up there and make your best shot every time.
Jamie Wall, the 17-year-old senior out of Oak Creek. About the 8th board right there, and a little bit of trouble. A little bit of a break there, but still some trouble.
Yeah, she tried giving that one a little bit too much on the bottom. You saw the elbow get away from the body as it started to follow through, and that's going to change your axis rotation. Makes the ball start up left and earlier, and no chance for that to break up the split for Wall.
Slight miss of target here, but possible to make up this spare now.
Yeah. Oh, and the smart thing right now, you're in the lead. You don't want to lose count. You don't want to have to get to the end of the match, and all of a sudden, your team lost by a pin because you didn't pick up a pin working on a strike.
Well, again, game 1, Oak Creek Knights had a 213, while Lakeview Tech with a 201, just a 12-pin lead going into game 2 here, Phil, and opening the door right back, Lakeview Tech.
Yeah, Burnett in the 4 spot this game, Jared Spangler in the 5 spot.
A little bit of a change again, I was just going to say, yeah.
So, I mean, both players throwing the ball well. Could be just a point of time, too, where the coach just goes, you know what? Maybe this time Spangler's going to be a little more clutch in the 10th frame if we need it. Let's see what happens. Burnett's your solid player in the 9 hole. Something says he should make this spare.
Yeah, trip 10 now.
No, 6 does not get the job done, and now Lakeview Tech a big hole.
Interesting here, opening the door for each other, these two teams here.
Yeah, Oak Creek back out to that lead of 15 pins.
Corbin Bouch, the 17-year-old Oak Creek, get things back on track here for the Knights.
Yeah, you see that nice relaxed starting position, shoulder down and relaxed, and unfortunately just muscled that one through the swing, gave it too much gusto.
Got away from him and just continued to skid down the lane here as we check out the replay.
Well, the good thing is 1-2-8 makeable spare. Bad part is you gotta get back to that 8-pin. You can't hit the head pin too light. You gotta basically be on top of that 1-2 pocket and have the ball carry back to the 8-pin.
Corbin with the jackal that it's going to move a little bit, and I've missed that spare before, not using a polyester spare ball, and I've left that 8-pin hanging back there. Corbin, though, able to convert.
Yes. Jared Spangler stepping up for Lakeview Tech, trying to get a few pins off that lead Oak Creek has right now. Good out of the hand, and he says his other interest outside of bowling van is engineering, and he really constructed himself a strike right there.
Lakeview Tech keeping it close here as we head into 5th frame here. Caitlin Martirana, 16-year-old junior for the Knights.
Lots of strikes so far from Martirana.
Ooh, almost straight through the head pin. Got a break there, leaving the 4.
You can see how direct she likes to play the lanes. Kind of reminds you of the Liz Johnson straightness of the lanes. A little different roll there for Caitlin, though. A little more side roll than what we see on Liz Johnson. She almost gets that 4 pin out. And she's a player that lets you know her feelings on the lanes, no doubt about it.
Got to wear those emotions on your sleeves. Keep them in check, of course, for the TV cameras.
Yeah, and once again, we're seeing these players just making sure everything's right. Towel off the oil, off the ball. Make sure the thumb's dry. Make sure you're taking your time before every shot. Don't give any pins back.
Caitlin throwing the paranoia. She also has a polyester spare ball, but not throwing it for this one. Still able to convert the spare nonetheless. We got ourselves a match here, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. The second half of Game 2 coming up. The 2017 Wisconsin High School Mixed Team Championships from Classic Lanes in Greenfield. More next. Welcome back to Classic Lanes here in Greenfield, Wisconsin. We have ourselves a match. Van McNeil alongside Phil Brylow. The 2017 Wisconsin High School Mixed Team Championship continues. 14-pin lead for Oak Creek.
Yeah, and right now, Lakeview Tech can knock 10 pins off that deficit. Sydney Anderson can put a big double up for her team.
Another change here for Lakeview Tech.
Yeah, they stay with that rotation. They did the same thing Game 1. With Grace Bordeaux coming out, Sydney Anderson coming in, and this time Anderson crosses over again, doesn't get the break to take out a single pin, leaving just the 4 on the crossover hit. Should be interesting to see how she shoots at this spare, because it looks like she's staying with her strike ball.
Tropical breeze.
Tries to flatten it out, and is
boy.
flirting with the 1 board, Van, and she converts successfully. You can see lots of smiles on that Lakeview Tech team.
Making it exciting here. Dayton Passante.
And it's still a close match.
Yeah, 17-year-old out of Oak Creek.
Love that lane level camera. You see the ball pick up the roll.
Light pocket hit, able to mix up the pins for a strike.
And it still keeps the deficit at 14 for Lakeview Tech with Zachary Spangler stepping out. Likes to play tennis when he's not out on the bowling lanes.
Nice release to the foul line. Still not able to find the pocket here.
Yeah, Zachary losing the ball off the thumb so quickly kind of concerns me a bit. These bowlers are growing, they're young. He's only 15 years old, and as spans change, bowlers, especially young ones, might not tell you, hey, the thumb doesn't fit properly anymore, that type of thing. It's always good every 5 or 6 months, especially when we're talking with our friend Joe Serrar, Bowlers Pro Shop. 5-6 months, have these young players have their grip updated, have it checked, just to make sure that you get the thumb all the way in and release the ball the same way time after time. So Zach Spangler, another great spare. He's keeping it clean when he's on the lanes, but I think a little bit of a pitch change to his thumb might help him throw a few more strikes.
Speaking of keeping it clean, Alec Belmas strikes throughout game 1 here, and going for his 4th strike here in the match. Not able to trip the 10 though. What happened there?
Just a little bit of a bad break. 6 had a chance to get to it more than once, as you saw the pin kind of go around pretty much vertical.
Right.
Around the 10 pin. Watch that 6
right
pin.
there, nice in the pin. Not able to trip the 10.
So a little bit of deflection. Now it's just you got to make the spare and keep your team ahead. Ooh, that's terrible. I hate to say it, but that's just terrible on that spare attempt.
Lack of focus. It happens from time to time, and
a bit of nerves. You know
Yeah.
how close the match is. You want to keep your team in the lead. Now it's single digits with Samantha Pendleton stepping up. Samantha's high series 636.
nice slow approach to the foul line.
Wants to get back on that softball field when the weather gets warm. And I'll tell you what, if she can pitch strikes on the softball diamond like she's throwing strikes today, she's got a pretty good effort coming out this spring for her team.
Jamie Wall looking to get the train back on the tracks for the Oak Creek Knights. 17-year-old senior. Throwing the hammer scandal here.
Yeah, 5-pin lead for Oak Creek right now. This is, this is a situation where you kind of have to prove yourself as a high school bowler.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you make another open frame for your team, you're going to fall behind. What's Wall going to do here to keep her team close?
Second arrow. Finds it right there, but a little bit of movement early. Are we seeing some transition here already, Phil?
I think so, and especially with lane 4, usually here at Classic Lanes Greenfield, hooking a little bit more than lane 3.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen that in the past on our televised shows from here. And Jamie's just going to have to make the adjustment next time up if her team advances to the championship against Muskego. But right now, the spare is imperative.
Yeah, we don't quite know yet. This is still a back and forth match. Able to convert the spare. That's Jamie Wall. Yeah, looking at this score again. Boy.
And this is the first time in a long time that Lakeview Tech has a chance to take the lead in the match if David Burnett can step up and get a double on the board for his team. 286 is high game.
Lakeview Tech, their first time here on TV.
Once again, another player with other interests outside of bowling, being bowling.
Stone 9-pin, but not the traditional way of acquiring it. That crossed over to the Brooklyn side.
Yeah, and not the shot he was looking for in that situation. However, keep the spare going. If you can force your opponent at a little pressure and they make the mistake, you still have a chance to win and advance to the championship match.
Every pin counts. Got to keep that focus.
Stays with the strike ball, hooks it in the 9-pin, and covers it up nicely.
Not using a polyester ball just makes it that much more exciting for us viewers. Ooh, boy.
So it's all a bowler's comfort level. So sometimes if I use polyester being left-handed on my left side spares, and on my right side spares I still use my reactive resin because I know I got to get through that oil in the middle of the lane.
Corbin Bouch using the Jackal LE and able to produce a strike for the Oak Creek Knights.
That is huge
Yes.
in the foundation frame. Trips the 4-9 out. And basically that tells Lakeview Tech, you want to put pressure on us? Jared Spangler's going to have to come up and put a double on the board to put any pressure on Oak Creek in the 10th frame.
He needs the first one for sure. Oh my goodness.
He made a quality shot. A little aggressive.
Yeah, a
the last
little
few feet.
too much ball speed and didn't give the ball a chance to react.
Yeah, I mean, just watch how hard it drives through, and that 2-pin just up and around the 4-7. Something came over, still took out the 7-pin, but right now, a spare here by Lakeview Tech is only going to force a spare out of Oak Creek to advance to the championship match.
Oh no. Oh, I thought he missed that one. Woo! Nice conversion there.
Well, really, basically, it's just a matter of count here for Lakeview Tech. Anything more than a 6 count is going to force Oak Creek to get a mark in the 10th frame.
Looking at the deficit here between the two. Let's see. Oh my.
Yeah, well, the strike there, and that's the one he was looking for, the first ball at 10th
Right.
frame. 181, that gives a 382 total, yeah, so that's just a matter of right now, it's just a mark and 6 pins from Martirana, and they're going to advance to the championship match against Muskego. But we all know marks and pressure situations sometimes aren't easy.
Needs the first one. Got to pick up the 7 pin.
Yeah, a little unusual with the 5 pin there. You saw it slide standing up towards the 7 pin. Catch it on the replay here. It's something you don't see very often. Could be a little oil carry down to the Pindex. She knows she made a great shot there.
She wanted it too.
But now she knows she has to refocus, and she's doing that right now, Van. She's calling off her ball, the same 3-shot routine, get the same mental mindset, and just go across the lane, shoot at the spare, and get yourself into the championship match. And that's dead on it.
Throwing that paranoia, able to convert the spare. That is a game winner right there.
Yeah, now it's just a matter of getting 6 pins. Actually, 5 pins on this first ball will advance into the championship match.
Well, I won't say it's a game winner yet.
Well, no,
because we've seen it before.
We saw it in the first frame with Lakeview Tech, where we saw a 3 count on a bit of an errant shot. And once again, smart idea from Martirana.
Yeah.
Take your time.
Yep.
Same 3-shot routine. Go through the same motions and get yourself a quality shot.
For the win. Beautiful. Oh, able to get the strike. Strikes the strike. She lets the emotion out, and that's a win for the Oak Creek Knights. So a 175 and a 213 for the Oak Creek Knights for a total of 388, while Lakeview Tech a 181 and a 201 here in Game 2 for a total of 382. Just 6 pins deciding both games here.
And it's going to be an exciting championship. Both teams from the Milwaukee area with Muskego and Oak Creek coming up in our championship, man.
That's next as the 2017 Wisconsin High School Mixed Team Championship continues from Classic Lanes in Greenfield, Wisconsin.
Barbiere's Italian Inn, featured in onmilwaukee.com's In Search of the Perfect Pizza in January 2013. Near Miller Park on Bluemont Road and on Milwaukee Avenue in South Milwaukee.
Okay, hi IAB members, this is Joe Serrar once again. Now we're going to talk briefly on ball fit. Not as easy to do as you would think via the internet here, but I'm going to show you basic good fitting techniques. If my cameraman Phil Brylo can kind of zoom on in here, this is the grip I currently use, which is a semi-fingertip on my ring finger, relaxed fingertip on my middle finger. There are times I will straighten my pinky or keep it curled. It's all personal preference. Same as spreading or keeping the index finger in. But fit-wise, you want a comfortable length, not where you see fingernail exposure, but where the fingers are in the ball comfortably, and a pitch that allows your thumb to enter and exit cleanly without inducing or creating any squeeze or grip pressure. When I swing the ball at my side, my hand is about as relaxed as a hand can be and still hold a 14 or 15 pound object. And again, you want minimal grip pressure to help aid in a clean release, clean thumb release, create good roll and lift off the fingers. And when I say lift, I don't mean lift up on the ball, but kind of lifting through the ball or feeding the ball to your break point. A longer grip, improperly fit, would be where you see fingernail exposure. Then you know the grip is too stretched. Now I can't show pitches as well via the camera here, but the angle of the thumb, if the thumb is pitched too far back where you have reverse pitch, that can cause bending and squeezing to hold on to the ball. If your thumb has the appropriate forward pitch or minimal reverse pitch, your thumb will lay straighter, tend to come out cleaner. If your pitch is too severely inward, that can cause excess pressure at the base of the thumb and your thumb won't release. So the key is communication with your ball driller. Get a grip and span that feels comfortable to you. And again, longer is not always better. In fact, in more cases, more top-level players are shortening spans as their hand ages, as they age, and as they realize length in the ball span is not near as important as is a good release with minimal grip pressure. So I hope this helps to a certain extent, and when you go visit your pro shop, communication is key. Give them as much information as you can, and don't be afraid to ask questions. There's no dumb questions, really. I mean, we get some silly ones, but we'll answer them the best we can, and we're here to help.
Providing premier equipment sales and services to Wisconsin bowlers since 1973. Check out our Wall of Fame and our current specials at bpsmilwaukee.com.
Welcome back to Classic Lanes here in Greenfield, Wisconsin. It's the 2017 Wisconsin High School Mixed Team Championship. Opening semifinal match between Oak Creek and Lakeview Tech. Phil, pretty exciting.
Down to the 10th frame, needed that mark by Toronto for Oak Creek to get into this championship match. Muskego, Oak Creek, they've battled each other all season long in District 1, but they haven't battled each other as these mixed teams. Going to be an interesting set of frames here in this match.
Dayton Passante opens up in the first frame, really opens up, and the ball gets away from him. His motive trident keeps on a skid.
Yeah, and Muskego had 10 minutes of practice on the lanes by themselves before Oak Creek came back on. Oak Creek with no practice on this championship pair. And they may have forgotten that lane 3 plays a little bit tighter than lane 4 to start with. We'll see if Passante can bring the speed down a little bit and convert this washout. Definitely down on the speed, but not accurate on the shot.
Not at all. The 17-year-old for Oak Creek opens up here in the first frame.
Well, we've seen the Oak Creek boys on TV before. We saw them as champions of the 2016 Midwinter High School Classic. Girls, we haven't seen it all, so this is the first shot under the TV lights for Sammy Moley off the port side.
Another southpaw, not able to trip that.
Like the way she's playing the lanes, though. Lefties usually like to play them a little farther outside. She's using an aggressive bowling ball. Helps that ball get some angle on the back end. Just a little bit too high in the pocket. 3-pin around at the 6th and doesn't take it down. Goes to the polyester on the spare, though, Van. I know that's your favorite.
That is my favorite. Straighter is greater on those spares, kids.
Textbook.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice cover. All right, over to Alec Belmas. I like this kid's style. He's a 17-year-old senior for the Oak Creek Knights. Throwing the force here.
Yeah, I mean, he gets a real heavy ball roll. And it's nice to see him that he's picked up his speed to go with that heavy ball roll. Otherwise, he was having a problem sometimes the ball would roll up a little early, get away from him. Look at how strong that is getting down lane.
A little too strong.
A little too left as well. So you see your opening player make the shot that goes a little wide. So then you think to yourself, well, I have to make the correction. And then you get the natural sometimes overcorrection when you do that. Okay, I got to play a little straighter. And you just give it a little extra or move it a little left. And next thing you know, you find yourself in a bunch of trouble. And we haven't seen this 3, 6, 9, 10 converted at all today on TV.
Well, you think about it, a 10-minute break, you really do get cold. 10 minutes is a long time before the next match, and Alec not able to convert here.
Well, and that's the one thing you don't want to see as a coach is a big early deficit against your opponents, and especially with, I mean, your average first ball count right now is 6 for Oak Creek this game. You really got to change that in a hurry.
Back-to-back opens for the Knights. Muskego looking to take advantage.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Colton Kursky right there, 10 back without a problem. He's a sophomore, but lots of experience, been bowling since the age of 5. And helps his team get out to an early 23-pin lead in this 2-game total pin match.
Yeah, solid pocket strike. Beautiful ball there. Over to Jamie Wall, the 17-year-old senior.
Well, she might not be majoring in nursing in college, but she's got to do something to stop the bleeding for Oak Creek right here.
And she does with a nice strike there. Throwing the hammer scandal.
That's a huge shot for your number 3 player. When you get opens from 1 and 2, you need that number 3 player to just sit there, stop the bleeding. And if now you're the number 3 player, Megan Curley for Muskego, you want to put a big double on the board and stretch out the lead.
Nice approach to the foul line. Right between the second and third arrow there. A little too much there. High flush.
I'll tell you what, coming out of the gates first time under the TV lights, that's a good shot there for Megan Curley. Now just to focus on the spare. She'll just make that little bit of move. Probably left with her feet would be the smart move. You have the drive coming in on the ball. You don't want to make that ball go any farther to the right. It might overreact on these house-type patterns. So you just move your feet a little left, get that ball to sit up in the pocket.
Slight movements here. You don't want to make big 4 or 5 board jumps here. 1, 2 boards at most.
Making acrylic letters in cross country as well as bowling at Muskego High School. And a great cover there. Keep it clean, and that's the goal for Muskego right now. Keep the pressure on Oak Creek to throw strings of strikes. You just have to keep yourself filling frames if you're Muskego right now.
Corbin Bouch here had a good semifinal match here against Lakeview Tech. Try to get Oak Creek back to its striking ways.
That's just a miss right, man.
Just kept on going, and that's what happens though if you miss a board or two. That ball will keep on moving on you.
And you can see right there coming back, talking to the coaches, and the coaches are telling him, you were a little fast, a little right, and it's not coming back on this. And once again, another 6 count for Oak Creek. And if you're throwing 6 counts on the board, most of the time you got to figure there's going to be a lot of open frames to go with it. This is going to be huge to try to cover right now.
Corbin throwing the jackal, and it just got away from him there. That ball movement just took off, not able to even come close to that.
Yeah, and now Muskego can really put the foot on the accelerator here. Tyler Sweeney can throw a strike up and hopefully set his teammates up for a double or possibly more for Muskego.
Yeah, 3 marks from Muskego. They've been clean so far, while the Knights continue to struggle.
Tyler, a junior, high series 726. Woo!
Not able to trip out that 7 point.
We saw the same leave with Martirana at the end of game 2 of the semifinal match. The 5 just gets a little in front of the 7 on that angle. The ball just rolls a little bit late. Can't get into the 7 pin, but once again, the makeable spare is what they need. And with all the practice these young Muskego players get at Alpine Lanes in Muskego, they should be pretty good. And Tyler's dad, John, coaching the team for the boys as well.
It'll be interesting to see what happens here in Game 2. The tradition, as is here on our television pair, is that lane 4 hooks a little bit more than lane 3. These two teams going to have to switch for Game 2 again. Just like the semifinal, a 2-game total pinfall.
Well, let's see what Martirana can do here to get Oak Creek back on track.
Not leaving that 7 pin up like she did in that last game. A solid pocket strike for the junior from Oak Creek.
Tell you what, girl power this game for Oak Creek. Wall and Martirana with the strikes.
Right.
The gentlemen with the opens, they need to fix that going into the second half of this game. And Ben Schroeder, senior, he's got a lot of tournament experience. He's the kind of bowler you want in the anchor spot. A powerful bent elbow release, kicks the 10 out. Great
Pretty,
shot.
and able to trip the 10 there. More from the 2017 Wisconsin High School Mixed Team Championship continues from Classic Lanes in Greenfield. Let's watch that trip one more time. The trip 10. More next.
Why do we have so many of our televised tournaments at Castle Lanes? Because we love being part of the wild side of bowling. If you're ready to get in touch with your wild side, go to castlelanes.com.
Welcome back to Classic Lanes here in Greenfield, Wisconsin. It's the 2017 Wisconsin High School Mixed Team Championship. Our championship match fell between the Muskego Warriors and the Oak Creek Knights.
And the Oak Creek Knights, unfortunately, need to dig themselves out of a big early hole. 3 opens for the boys on this team leave them in a 36-pin deficit.
Dayton Casante looking to put an end to it with a solid pocket strike, the 17-year-old for the Knights.
That's big coming out of the commercial break. Caitlin Martirana got the strike in the 5th. Coach has got a chance to talk things over with the team. And a big double to get the lead down to 26 for Muskego with Sammy Moley stepping up in Muskego's 6th frame. Love that angle she's using.
Yeah. Really pretty rotation.
Kind of jealous. Kind of jealous I'm not out there myself. That's one of my favorite lines right there, especially here at Classic Lanes Greenfield. Just kind of get the ball a little bit outside of first arrow, play it straight towards the pocket.
Right in.
And you can see it's not that hockey stick look. It's that gradual angle in the pocket. Great shot there by Moley.
Alec Belmas been pretty solid throughout the whole day here. And solid right there with the strike for the senior from Oak Creek, throwing his force.
Oh, whatever the coaches from Oak Creek did to talk to their young men during the break seems to have worked well. 16 pins now to lead only for Muskego with Colton Kersey stepping up.
Not wasting any time here in this championship match. 2-game total pinfall.
Well, the key words right there you said, Van, were not wasting any time. And unfortunately for Kersey right there, really got himself amped up all the way to the line. There was no chance at all that ball was getting to the pocket. You just see the ball slide, slide, slide.
Right.
Doesn't pick up till only about 5 or 6 feet before the head pin.
Got to take your time out here on TV. A little bit of a different environment.
Much better effort on the spare though.
That should have been, well, not the first ball, but a little closer to what the first ball should have been.
Exactly, and that's just one of those things where you have to have that same pre-shot routine. And you know, one thing looking at Jamie Wall right here, we see the same thing every time. Towel on the ball, take your time, get yourself focused on the shot. And she's been making quality shots for her team all day. Only one split in the semifinal match has really kept her from having a great TV outing.
City doubles winner, Reba Rorbaleski. Straight through the head pin here.
That one she just tried playing it a little too direct, but with that slight angle on the pocket, no chance of leaving the 4 or 7 with that, so that makes it much easier to convert. However, we've seen struggles from players all day. 3-6-10 combinations, 3-6-9-10s. Haven't been marks for these players.
Oh boy. Able to just trip that 10 pin to convert the spare. I think she knows she got away with that one.
Yeah, you usually don't hit on the left side of the head pin on that 3-6-10 combination and walk away with the spare too often. Megan Curley stepping up. High series of 677.
You talk about those routines, Phil, that she has a nice, slow, 5-step approach up to the foul line.
Well, and we talked a little while ago. She left the 4 pin on her first effort in the 3rd frame. Said maybe bumping the feet left a little bit would be good. Well, you can see right there she's using a very aggressive bowling ball. She missed right. Ball starts to roll early, and it has no chance with her type of roll to get all the way back to the head pin. Curley's the kind of player that's always going to want to find the oil to her advantage, where a lot of the higher rev players might want to find some more dry to their advantage. So we'll see if she makes that adjustment on the spare here, which she does nicely.
Very nicely. Able to convert and continues to put the pressure on the Oak Creek Knights.
And you see the difference in the ball roll for Curley on that shot. It waited till later. Very direct because the ball was in a little bit more oil. No problem converting the spare. So as she moves to lane 3, which seems to be playing a little bit tighter than lane 4, that could lead into some more success for her in the second game.
That's right. No re-oil here between the semifinal and championship match. Corbin Bouch looking to get things back on track for the Knights. And again, straight through the head pin, not making those adjustments, Bill.
Yeah, they're just kind of a little tight right now. When you're in a deficit, you want to make up some pins, especially when your team was on a couple of strikes in a row there. Just a little bit of the mental game right there. Get yourself focused, and once again, here we go with the 3-9 combination. At least he doesn't have the 6-10 to deal with. It should be a little bit easier for him to attend.
Right, you want to go to breaking down the lane as a team. Really gets interesting here in this situation with these two teams here, because on top of that, you got to switch lanes. And as we've said before, lane 4, much more movement than on lane 3, but that's starting to change here.
Yeah, and especially with the different styles of players here. You see where Tyler Sweeney, a little bit higher rev than most of the ladies that are out there, as he throws a great shot.
Right.
So you have the ladies playing the lanes more direct. You have the guys trying to swing it just a hair bit more, but that makes transition a little bit difficult to pick up. And this is the only time these teams bowl in this mixed format all season long. That's something new that they have to adjust to, and that's what kind of kept the scores low most of the day. We didn't see many 250 and 260 games out there during qualifying.
Speaking of Lakeview Tech, in our semifinal match, didn't really show up until TV time.
Yeah, that was their high set with their 383 set. That was their high 2-game set of the tournament between qualifying and match play. But they picked a good time to throw it. Just Oak Creek threw a few more pins at them at that time.
Kaylin Marks-Harana, 16-year-old junior out of Oak Creek, throwing the Paranoia when she's not bowling. Marching band.
Ooh.
Ouch.
And she marched that 3-pin straight back into the pit, leaving the 6-10 to braid around the back of the pin deck.
Another open for the Knights, and another opportunity here for the Warriors.
Tell you what, if they can put 222 on the board and open up almost a 60-pin advantage, it's going to be tough for Oak Creek. And it starts here with Ben Schroeder.
Beautiful approach, beautiful release, beautiful pocket strike.
Possible 222. Muskego's high game out on the lanes today was their last game of qualifying with a 246 game. Oak Creek's high game of the day today was 258 in the very first game of qualifying. So, see two teams that took different directions to get to the TV show. But right now, all that matters is getting out of here with the win in this 2-game total pin match.
But we've seen it before, and we've talked about it on every telecast. Teams have dug out from these 50, 60, 70 pin deficits to come back and win.
And I'll tell you what, if I'm the coach and I got Ben Schroeder at anchor right now, I'm feeling pretty confident going into game 2. He's thrown 3 great shots. Ring 10 on that one. I mean, that's an eighth of an inch either way. And a little stronger ball roll from taking out the 10 pin and really putting a big score on the board for Muskego. But I'll tell you what, 211 right now. Muskego could be walking out of this game with a 48 pin lead with this spare conversion.
Let's see what happens here. Able to pick up that 10 pin. I was going to say no doubt, but no, he converted it. All right, so a 211 to a 163. We got some digging to do here, Phil.
Yes, indeed. Oak Creek switching lanes, and they're going to talk it over and see what they can do to get out of here with a win.
Game 2 of this championship match from Classic Lanes in Greenfield. The 2017 Wisconsin High School Mixed Team Championship continues next. Classic Lanes in Greenfield, Wisconsin is the place for the 2017 Wisconsin High School Mixed Team Championship. Van McNeil alongside Phil Brilo for Game 2 of the championship match between Muskego and Oak Creek.
Yeah, we'll have one lineup change for Muskego. Oak Creek going with that lineup that's gotten into this championship match. No changes for Oak Creek, and Sammy Moley is going to be starting things off for Muskego. Muskego with that big 48-pin lead here in this 2-game total pin match, starting game 2.
We've seen teams come back from these kinds of deficits before, straight through the head pin, though, for the Warriors here in the first frame.
So, and the one good thing for Molly, only a couple of balls thrown previously on the left side, so she should have a pretty consistent reaction from lane to lane. She should be a little bit more in the pocket, I think, in her effort in the 6th frame. But right now, the key is converting this baby split. You see moving well to the right on the approach and going cross lane with polyester ball.
As is tradition here on the championship pair, lane 4 hooking a little bit more than lane 3, but we're seeing that lane 3 has transitioned a little bit more and causing some trouble for the Warriors here in the opening frame.
Yeah, we saw Oak Creek start this championship match with open, strike open on lane 3. Muskego going to try to avoid that same fate, I'm sure.
Dayton Passante, the 17-year-old senior out of Oak Creek, opening up the match almost proper. Didn't get the break there with the 4-pin, though.
Well, it's the read you need to get for your team. You know that lane's hooking a little bit more. You know if you've made a quality shot, go back and tell your teammates, hey, it's hooking a couple boards more than last time we were on this lane. Make those moves and start throwing some strikes so we can play catch-up here.
Dayton, a previous state winner, his high game at 283, his high series an 821. That's impressive.
No worries about fouling to Passante there. Quite a bit beyond the foul line.
Not at all. And his motive trident on the spare ball, too.
Well, Colton Kursky stepping up. Likes baseball when he's not out on the lanes.
Rocket to the pocket.
He gave that one a little extra on the bottom.
Yeah,
he
did.
Really did. You saw that ball roll up early, and once again, now we get another one of those 3-9 combinations. And watching your players shoot that'll take some days off of a coach's lifespan, no doubt, when you see that out there, because you know how tough it is. You can't get the ball out to the right too early. It won't recover back and hit the 9-pin out of the 3-9 combination. Accuracy, dead key here.
And able to convert. It's the woes of lane 3, Phil. Oak Creek had it in the first game of the championship match here, and Muskego able to convert a spare there.
Yeah, and right now for Muskego, as much as you're thinking, just keep filling frames, you know Oak Creek has the capability to start stringing strikes. They did it in the middle of that first game of this championship match.
Alec Belmas, one of those striking force for the Oak Creek Knights. thought he was going to get it. Did that ball move late, though?
He really got on the bottom. You saw his foot kind of twist at the foul line as he was delivering the ball through. He was too tentative with his feet. You see that ankle kind of, he's going right. And that just gave him too much leverage on the ball. Right through the face, leaves the 6'10". And that just shows you where timing in the sport is so key. If you're off a little bit with your ball position and where you're sliding, much better on the spare attempt.
Able to convert the 17-year-old senior out of Oak Creek. That's Alec Belmont.
And you saw the firm base for Belmas on that spare. No twisting of the foot and ankle here. And here's a tough situation. Coach's daughter, Dave Greger, the coach of the girls team, bringing in Allie Greger for game 2. She had to sit on the sidelines for the whole first game. And not a bad shot for coming off the bench. Almost the break, just leaving the forehead.
Mentioning team members and Muskego making their substitutions. We saw it in the first match with Lakeview Tech making their substitutions. Oak Creek has been solid all the way through, staying with that lineup of Dayton, Alec, Jamie, Corbin, and Caitlin. Not bowling as of right now, and I don't see any changes coming for Oak Creek, but Ryan Seska and Sam Richter, who are also part of the team, we see them in the background, but not active for today, at least not yet.
Not yet, but stranger things have happened in time. But when a coach has got a lineup that's bowled well and gotten into the TV show, sometimes it's hard to change and put somebody in even just for a fill ball, especially with how well Caitlin Martirana has been throwing it for Oak Creek in that anchor spot.
Jamie Wall also been throwing the ball well today, the 17-year-old senior for the Knights.
You see the coaches back there. You see Jeff Robleski with the ever-present sunglasses on his head.
When Jamie's not bowling, big hockey fan, loves the Admirals, loves the Nashville Predators, and an unbelievably big fan of Christmas and holiday music, Phil.
Did not know that about the Christmas and holiday music. I didn't see her singing any Christmas carols in her Monday Night League, man.
You must have not been there the night she was going off singing Merry Christmas to everyone.
Oh, she's not worried about that right now.
No.
The only gift she's looking for is a championship for her and her entire team. But it's going to take more than spares like that for Oak Creek to come back. They're going to need to start stringing some strikes in a hurry. Something tells me that Muskego is not going to leave them many open frames.
Jamie's high game there at 279 in her career. Good stuff there for Jamie. Over to the Muskego Warriors.
Tyler Sweeney, Jr., high game at 267. I mentioned his dad, John Sweeney, coaches the boys. John, a quality player himself, bowls with us on Monday nights at Alpine Lanes in our Tough Shot League, and that's going to be a tough spare for Tyler Sweeney.
Yeah, straight through the head pin. I don't know if that was a miss of target or ball reaction.
I think it was just a simple miss of target. The way he reacted coming back, he knew he missed it.
Yeah.
That ball driving through the little extra revs that we saw with some of the lower rev players, getting some deflection, taking out pins on the left side, not happening for Tyler Sweeney. Smart thing right now is take the 2 pins. Don't try to get funny with it. Get the count. Keep your team ahead. You never know what Oak Creek might be able to put together in the next few frames.
Be nice to make the 6, 7, 10 here on TV. Oh, almost got that 7.
Yeah, but the smart thing, get the 2 pins.
Right, of course.
Everything goes from there, and now it's a matter of Ben Schroeder stepping up again and trying to get his team some momentum in the 5th frame, but Corbin Bouch first.
Yeah, the 17-year-old for the Knights. High game of 284 in his career so far. And just miss of target. That ball kept on skidding. His jackal did not move at all.
And that is huge effect on the count as well. I mean, on a spare, only getting 3. It could be interesting as the match goes on if Oak Creek can charge and make a comeback here, if those pins might come back to haunt them.
Wants to thank Mom and Dad, his brothers and sisters, for their support.
And then the overcorrection, the lucky break. But that's what usually happens when you see it with bowlers like you and I, Van. We get in a league and we make a shot that's a little errant one direction. We overcompensate on the second shot. A good break for Bouch right there, but he's going to need to get himself set back up when he's back up in the 9th frame.
Talking about Ben Schroeder earlier, our anchor for the Muskego Warriors. Just textbook all the way up to the foul line. A little grabby there, though, as transition continues here on lane 3.
Yeah, and a little grabby and just a little left of where he wanted to be. And easy thing, though, right now, it's just a 6-pin. Get that polyester ball in the hand, throw it straight across the lane. See, he uses an interchangeable thumb. so he gets that same feel from ball to ball. See lots of players using it nowadays.
And that's really been, what, 3-4 years that the interchangeable thumb has come into play here?
Where it's been really big, and now
Yeah.
all three major insert manufacturers, Vice, Turbo, and Ultimate, all now have their own interchangeable thumb systems, and they've pretty much perfected it where initially some of the systems they'd have problems with breaking or snapping off. You don't see that anymore.
Caitlin Martirana, solid junior bowler here for the Oak Creek Knights. High game of 290. Little light there for the strike, but we'll take it, and we'll continue with the second half of this championship match next. It's the Oak Creek Knights taking on the Muskego Warriors for the 2017 Wisconsin High School Mixed Team Championship from Classic Lanes in Greenfield.
Why do we have so many of our televised tournaments at Castle Lanes? Because we love being part of the wild side of bowling. If you're ready to get in touch with your wild side, go to castlelanes.com. Barbier's Italian Inn, featured in onmilwaukee.com's In Search of the Perfect Pizza in January 2013. Near Miller Park on Blue Mountain Road and on Milwaukee Avenue in South Milwaukee.
Welcome back to the 2017 Wisconsin High School Mixed Team Championship. We're at Classic Lanes in Greenfield, Wisconsin. A 33-pin deficit here for the Oak Creek Knights.
Yeah, Sammy Moley stepping up for Muskego Warriors.
Taking her time.
The bounce back off of that baby split she left in the first frame doesn't really make that much of an adjustment. Almost a similar shot. Plows everything out but the 7-pin, but this should be a little bit easier for her to convert.
I don't want to blame that on the commercial break, but
Well, every once in a while, we know that's the toughest shot to come out of is the commercial break. You're around, your coach is talking to you, all of a sudden, here's the director hollering, hey guys, we got to go, start bowling, and get yourself snapped in and mentally focused again. Now the focus is get that 7-pin down, and not a problem there, dead on it.
not at all.
And now you get to play cheerleader the rest of the day if you're Sammy Moley, because your job is done. Unless there's a tie. If there's a tie, it's an 8th, 9th, and 10th frame roll-off, and the coaches get to pick any 3 bowlers out of their lineup. As long as it's mixed somehow, 2 girls and a boy, or 2 boys and a girl for that roll-off. But a long way to go for Oak Creek before they could even think about that.
Good day of bowling, though, for Dayton Casante. He's found the pocket. Not got to strike every throw here, but got one there for sure.
Well, a little over halfway through this game, and the deficit that Oak Creek faced coming in is now gone. Half of it gone. It was 48 pins. Now it's down to 24.
Keep chipping away. That's the point here.
And they're working on strikes. Kursky, though, great bounce back for him to give the pressure right back to Oak Creek. And now Kursky goes, all right, what do you got for me? You strike, I strike. Now what do you guys got?
A natural rivalry here between the Knights and the Warriors. Alec Belmas.
Oh yeah, these teams see each other during District 1 competition all season long, and with their postseason coming up shortly, they're going to run into each other in that district championship, one way or another.
17-year-old senior from Oak Creek. A little high here on the first throw.
And that
got away from him. Missed the target.
That could have gotten the lead down to just about a dozen pins if he would have struck on that shot. But once again, his heavy roll, if he gives it a little extra on the bottom, it's easy to slice through the face and no problem covering up that 6-pin.
That little bit of extra hand can cause that much trouble.
Yes, indeed. And especially if you try giving a little more, you usually end up moving your elbow and your wrist slightly, and it changes your axis of rotation, which lets the ball grab a little bit more down lane when it does make the move.
Checking out Allie Greger here for the Warriors.
High series 683, high game of 253.
And straight to the head pin.
Tell you what, though, right now, if you're Muskego, you like to see those single pins, and you like to know you can convert all of those, because then Oak Creek has to keep throwing strikes. And Oak Creek right now with only 2 strikes in the first 7 frames, Oak Creek's kept it clean.
That first game was pretty difficult for the Knights. Opening up with 2 frames in game 1.
Polyester ball, no problem covering that stirrup. That's one thing you see a lot more sometimes with the young ladies in high school bowling than you see with the gentlemen. The focus on the single pin spares. The girls don't let as many single pins get away as we see the young men do.
A little bit more about focus and slowing down. You don't need to be in a rush to convert the spare. Calm, cool, and collected. Just like Jamie Wall here, the senior out of Oak Creek. The Christmas music lover looking for a strike. Not able to trip the 10 pin.
And once again, a little bit of the roll she wasn't looking for. Near the pocket, she gave that one a little bit of side turn. Ball never picked up. Watch that ball deflect through the 9-pin spot. 8 was late to go too, but right now, for Wall, get the focus, make the 10-pin, give your teammates a chance to still maybe do something if Muskego can leave you an opening.
Jamie thanking her buddy, Caitlin McComas, the bowling gods, and Carrie Brylo for putting up with you, Phil.
Yeah, well, my wife is a saint, let's be honest. But she helps out a lot with all these telecasts, and couldn't have done it for 10 years on TV without her help. And right now, guy that's looking to really help his team and almost put this in a lockout situation. Tyler Sweeney. Tyler can get a strike on the board here and set up Schroeder in the 10th frame. Muskego can really put the lockjaws on this championship.
Ooh, able to mix up the pins. Not a bad spot for the 3-bowler.
These players may not know Dick Weber, but they know his carry when you hit the head pin on the sideboard and you take out the 4, 5, and 7.
That's a simple Google, Phil. Google Dick Weber, kids. You'll learn so much from the man.
A must strike here for Corbin Bouch.
Got the lucky hit there and able to trip the 5-pin.
Well, that was definitely the high hard point for Bouch there, as you said. The 5 barely topples over. And right now the situation is for Muskego. Any mark here with good count by Ben Schroeder, and they're going to take home the inaugural Wisconsin High School Mixed Team Championship. Anything less than a mark, and Caitlin Martirana can step up for Oak Creek in the 10th frame and take home the championship for the Knights.
Ben Schroeder, the senior for the Warriors, needs it.
Much better toss than he had in the 5th frame. Much better. Leaves himself to the single pin, knows, take your time, take the focus, make things happen.
This is where bowlers get to do math.
Usually in a lot of these cases, though, it's not the bowlers doing it, it's
Right.
the coaches, because the bowlers
Right.
don't want their players worrying about it. Let the coaches handle the math, bowlers just get out there and throw strikes.
Right. Solid approach, solid release. I like his style.
Oh, and now they just need 6 pins to lock up the championship. And we're going to see, and we're actually going to have a substitute here for Schroeder.
Oh,
In this
interesting.
fill ball.
More strategy comes into play
So,
here.
well, they figure Gajewski's going to have no problem getting the 6 count as Anthony Gajewski steps up. He's a senior. You got to get the senior their due out there.
Yeah, but you want to put him in cold in a game-winning situation like this?
If you throw it like that, you keep it straight towards the pocket, absolutely. That's going to lock up the championship for Muskego. Even with only a 172 in game number 2, that 211 the first game, that big advantage they had over Oak Creek, is going to lock it up.
Total of 383 for the Muskego Warriors as we watch Caitlin Martirana wrap things up here in the 10th with a nice strike.
Well, if she strikes out, Oak Creek shoots 217. That would give them a 2-game total of 380. And right now, you have to look back at the 4th frame of Corbin Bouch. Not to pick on an individual player, but they've been clean the whole game. But that 3 count, you get a 7 count out of that, or an 8 count out of that, and you give Martirana the chance to step up and get a win here.
I wouldn't put it all on Bouch, Phil.
Well,
You
no.
got to go back to game 1.
Exactly.
Where Dayton, Alec, even Corbin himself, and Caitlin opened up in that first game. 3 pins.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of places to get it back, but it's not too often that these young players leave a 3 count on the lane.
There it is, a 3-pin falling short for the Oak Creek Knights.
If she gets them all in the fill ball, but you can see right there, there's a little disappointment in Oak Creek, but
You still want to say
you still
face.
want You still want to finish strong. And Martirana is such a competitive player out in the lane. She doesn't want to lose to anybody. She was bowling you or I, she'd be trash talking both of us right now, Van.
Absolutely.
She doesn't trash talk anybody else, but she'll trash talk us.
It just goes to show here, ladies and gentlemen, that every frame counts. You go back to the first game and all the opens that the Knights threw, that's where they lost it.
Exactly. But what a finish by Oak Creek to make it a heck of a match. Came down to the 10th frame.
3 pins wins it for the Muskego Warriors, 383 to Oak Creek's 380. We will wrap up this telecast next from Classic Lanes in Greenfield. You are watching the 2007 Wisconsin High School Mixed Team Championship.
Providing premier equipment sales and services to Wisconsin bowlers since 1973. Check out our Wall of Fame and our current specials at bpsmilwaukee.com.
Live, on demand, worldwide, Extra Frame is always on. It's the online bowling channel. Watch live qualifying rounds and match play from every PBA Tour stock and every PBA 50 Tour event on your big screen, PC, mobile phone, or tablet. Archived nationally televised shows and content is available 24/7. Extra Frame is always on. Subscribe now at www.extraframe.tv.
Welcome back to Classic Lanes here in Greenfield, Wisconsin. Van McNeil alongside Phil Brylo. What a great day of high school bowling here. Of course, Muskego staying clean in that opening match. Oak Creek trying to itch in there. Couldn't get it done today.
Yeah, it was just interesting. The difference between lanes 3 and 4 as the bowlers move from lane to lane. Oak Creek struggled on lane 3 the first game of that championship match. Then Muskego had to move over to that pair. They struggled early, but managed to get a late double put together while Oak Creek tried to make that charge. A couple of bad counts and spares, though, cost Oak Creek the title. 3 pins the difference in that championship match.
That's why they say every pin counts. Make your spares, kids. Make those spares. And Phil, again, providing a very unique opportunity for our Wisconsin high school bowlers.
Yeah, we've had 3 great events this winter for our high school bowlers. We've had the mixed doubles championship, this mixed team championship, and we also had our usual midwinter classic from Castle Lanes. And boy, without the support of our great sponsors like Kerry Catania, Motion Plus Lanes, Gina Darashevsky here at Classic Lanes in Greenfield, Phil and Patty Onko at Castle Lanes have been with us forever. It's just an amazing partner. Now we had AMF Bolero jump on board this year with Dan Patterson helping us out with our mixed doubles. Can't get this high school bowling on TV without support of these great proprietors that help us out.
Of course, you can continue to watch all of the replays of all of our matches here throughout the years on YouTube. All you got to search is Essential Bowling Concepts. For the entire crew here at Classic Lanes in Greenfield, for Phil Brylo, I'm Van McNeil. Thanks for watching.
Wow.